Daybreak, the matchup is Protoss versus Terran, and spawning in the top right-hand corner is the holder of... It's Root TT1. And down in the bottom left-hand corner, his opponents representing Team Light. The guy that spent some time training in Andre's house. It's KawaiiRice.
He also loves Nana Mizuki. Mizuki Nana? Do you know who that is?
Sounds like an anime.
No, she is a singer. How dare you?
I tweeted last night asking people to suggest a new anime to me.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I got a lot of suggestions. The one I settled on was Death Note.
Never heard of it. I did one anime and said I would never do any other again because they are way too addictive.
Which one did you do?
I did Naruto.
That's a good one.
And I was just like,
I've been reading that manga, and it is becoming a little bit too intense.
Don't say anything.
I'm just saying.
Don't
it
say anything,
has officially
bro.
become Super Saiyan versus Super Saiyan.
Okay.
That's like all it is. He's just powering up.
Ah,
exactly, man. Like literally, like now Naruto powers up and he like gets he turns blonde and he shoots fireballs.
What did I just say?
You passed that part. I saw you watching it the other day.
No, man, he hasn't learned to control it yet.
Spoiler alert, he learns.
God, how was I supposed to know he learns the Rasengan? Anyway, KawaiiRice is going to do a fast expansion gasless, of course. That's exactly what we expect. TT1 is surprisingly not playing abusive as hell. Just going for... Oh, yes. Oh, no. I thought he was going to go expand. But nope. He's just doing his standard old build.
You know who is going to expand, Andre? That guy. Well, not that particular guy. That guy. Right there.
Headshot.
He's going to expand.
All said.
1 Rax gasless fast expand from Kawhi. Very typical Terran opening these days. Whereas TT1 is most likely going to be going 1 gate expo. But his expo is going to be a bit behind Kawhi's, and this might force him to feel as if he has to do a little something to put some pressure on his opponent.
This is pretty standard, though. I mean, TVP, both these situations, I mean, there are potentially these super, super rare builds where KawaiiRice can cancel the command center and do some sort of push off of 3 barracks. I've seen that before, actually. TLO is the person that I saw that from. But obviously, TT1 knows his opponent's style. He's just, again, as I was saying before, TT1 is willing to take those 1-2% hits just to have exactly what he wants, the position he wants or the units he wants. He's willing to do that kind of stuff.
I mean, he's a player that, much like his teammate Katz, and actually, you know what, Katz said this best, adopts a style where maybe it's not the most efficient, maybe it's not the best build ever, but it's his build, and he knows it inside and out.
Exactly.
And if he can play from that position 1,000 times, even if he's disadvantaged, he's more comfortable playing from that position than his opponent might be playing from that position. And so that still gives him a really good, strong fighting chance. Yeah,
that's important to know, because you have to realize your opponents have a limited time to actually play this game. And if they're playing against, 95% of the time, just very standard play, and you throw in that wrench somewhere, and that's your standard, all of a sudden, you are so much more confident with how you actually play everything out.
Absolutely.
You know relative timing's a lot better. You know your opponent is capable of this or not capable of this. Whereas your opponent
is like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Exactly.
Why has this guy gone 1 gate expand into double forge?
And sometimes, this game is about expectations. Like right now, KawaiiRice has the expectation that his opponent is capable of getting a 3rd base. But if you don't have that expectation, you're not searching for that, well, then you're in a lot of trouble, and you can be very surprised to a ton of builds.
I feel like TT1's playing really greedy here.
Oh, he is. He has double forge down, getting double upgrades, and chrono boosting probes. That is probably the greediest of greedy builds.
And TT1, I'm sorry, KawaiiRice is on 3 racks. He's getting stim. Is it? There's the factory going down. So we're probably not going to see him push until he has a couple of medevacs out.
Definitely not.
So this is only going to favor TT1, which goes back to what you were saying way back 5 minutes ago when you said TT1 is going to try and abuse Kawhi because he knows his style.
Exactly. And if you know your opponent is going to medevacs, you're saying 9 minutes, 30 seconds is normally the fastest time you'll see it. Normally, there are certain situations where it's a little bit faster. But 9 minutes, 30 seconds, 10 minutes is around where opponents will start dropping. Well, TT1 has started his forge upgrades way in advance, so that by the time these medevacs get to his opponent's base, he will have 1-1 and be able to get enough units.
+2, honestly, because Kawhi has started +1, and it would not make much sense for him to push while that was halfway done.
Ooh, so unfortunate for KawaiiRice. He just does not see this. Anyway, let's look at the income tab, 37-48. Which shows you how abusive TT1 has been with his probe count. And obviously just saying, I don't have to prepare for any pushes until 10 minutes in. And this is the way you actually punish people for being super standard. It sounds crazy, but that's the way you punish. You say, you put a time limit on how greedy you can be, and then you say, how many minutes do I need to prepare for something? Is it 2 minutes? Is it 3 minutes? Is it only 1 minute? And then you go from there, and you're playing super efficient over your opponent.
Now, another thing that TT1 has done really nicely, Andre, and well, I guess you could argue against this as well, but he's put all of his tech, everything up inside of his main base. So we saw KawaiiRice try and sacrifice an SCV to take a look at his opponent. He saw nothing, zero. All he really saw was that 2 gases have been taken in the natural, so he's got no idea exactly what he's playing against. He hasn't bothered spending a scan up in the main base, so Kawhi is blind. He's just without a clue. He's literally guessing at this point. And this just favors TT1 all the more.
Oh, yeah. And on top of that, TT1, I mean, he's again abusing it by going blink first. Now, what if it's just a Marine Marauder push straight up into the natural with SCVs? That's actually a great way to actually counter this build because you have such small amounts of units. You're relying on your upgrades to keep you safe against drops. Just send SCVs, Marines and Marauders. We'll have a ton of tanking units, tanking HP, and then you're retaining your TPS. However, he knows KawaiiRice isn't a player like that, so he just prepares for the drops, gets blink, and knows that he's safe because of his style. It's super, super intelligent.
Right, you are, Andre. Zealot getting picked off here in the middle of the map, so TT1 knows that KawaiiRice is out and about. Still no third base from TT1, although it looks like he's gearing up to take it, putting the pylon down there, leaving a probe, just kind of chilling around the third. So many gates for TT1. That is 7 gates, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
Which is, of course, mini gates, Andre.
Man, you're destroying the math today. I have to say it.
Counting is something that while adding and subtracting is hard, counting, I got that down.
Not bad. Big drop going into the main, it looks like. It looks like 4 medevacs worth of units. Now you need to be so careful.
This is so dangerous with blink finished.
Oh gosh, TT1 might be able to get the most beautiful hits right now. Oh, KawaiiRice has to be careful. And as you can see, TT1 knew about it. He just repositioned his stalkers. In the meantime, the factory is going to float over to the bottom right-hand side just to check if the third is going down. But KawaiiRice has literally put himself in a position where he can't do any damage. 2-2 is just finished. It's 12 minutes into the game. You haven't done anything. You know your opponent hasn't taken third base. Just drop back, take your own third, and macro. That's the best way to actually go about this.
Well, TT1's dropping his third, and it looks like Kawhi is going to try and do something about that, positioning himself around the bottom half of the map. Will he engage that third base, or is he just going to go home? That's the big question on everybody's mind right now. Robotics Bay is done, so TT1 could begin Colossus Tech if he wants it. And those Colossi would be so valuable against the buy of Kawhi. This could be a mistake. Kawhi's actually going to split up his army. It's going to give him less fighting strength, and TT1 still has those Stalkers positioned to intercept drops in his main.
Ooh, and TT1 actually misplays this. The Blink Stalkers are actually leaving the base, and KawaiiRice is going to get this drop inside the main base. Beautifully played by by KawaiiRice. Now getting into the probe line. And look at that, he actually waits with all of his units in the bottom right-hand position. So he has that combination attack to kill the third, but TT1 playing very intelligent, keeping a lot of units there. He has 2-2, don't forget.
Oh, we are going to see this fight in the third base, and that went pretty well for Kawhi. So.
Yeah, he killed 3 sentries before his opponent could react.
So while everything was looking oh so good for TT1, KawaiiRice managing to catch him out of position, does some solid damage, killed 15 probes, Andre, and quite a lot of the fighting strength of TT1. We're going to see this medevac coming back. The TT1 tries to blink underneath and will pick off the medevac before it can completely unload. The single stalker, not even going to kill the single stalker.
But the other drop on the bottom of the main is going to come in here and kill all the stalkers. Very intelligent, so he can actually retreat, pick up all of his units if he need be. There it is. and he can just continue doing that. Now look at this, all the units actually being retreated. Charge has finished, and 2-2 is up, so KawaiiRice really needs to be careful because he still has, what is that, 70 seconds until his 2-2 actually finishes.
Yeah, so very intelligent decision to back off here as TT1's army has reached a bit of a critical mass. He's at about 100 army supply. First Colossus is out, and Kawhi is just going to back off, secure his third base, but a Zealot is in that third base, and Kawhi does not appear to have noticed. 3 SCVs have fallen already. Finally, Kawhi is going to pull those workers.
Yeah, from here, KawaiiRice really shouldn't be looking to harass anymore, knowing that his opponent, you know, it's what, 3 minutes into the game. Now his opponent has more units to actually cover the same amount of area. This is really, really scary, but wow, it's actually going to work for the most part. There are a ton of units all the way down at the third base. This quad drop might do a ton of damage, but he hasn't yet targeted down anything. Big Artosis pylon. Gonna unpower 4 gateways. Very nicely played.
Uh-oh, but a medevac might get picked off. Yes, it does. So a lot of units going to fall there. And I do have to question a little bit whether or not that was totally worthwhile, killing just a couple of pylons and a handful of probes for a medevac full of units. TT1 is at 150 supply. Kawhi also at about 150 supply. Army supplies are still close, though, so I suppose every exchange that Kawhi makes is just putting him in a better and better position. And TT1 might actually be being overly passive here, Andre.
Well, he's waiting for 3-3, I think, and, of course, extended thermal lance. But he has actually been severely hindered. Look at that, 31 workers killed through all that harassment. Beautifully done by KawaiiRice. And for him, he's just going to finally take his 5th and 6th gas. He should have actually taken that a lot earlier. He wants to get Ghosts out. You can't actually get Ghosts and Vikings at the same time. You have to actually, or off of 4 gas, I should say. You need that 6th gas. So I like where KawaiiRice is. Look at this. He actually went double starport, too.
Oh, yeah. He's got 3 starports, in fact, Andre.
Really?
I don't know where the third one is. It's in his natural.
Yeah.
So he's got incredible Viking production potential.
Yes. By the way, that is actually in response to TT1 consistently doing double robotics facility after getting his 3 Nexuses up. Like, he always does that. This is the first game where I don't see him doing that, and I think it's a response to all the harassment that's been done.
Yeah, maybe I honestly was expecting that third robo to go down, but then Kawhi started having some success with the drops, and so we just didn't see it ever happen. KawaiiRice is moving right now, Andre. His 2-2 is finished, but he's against a 3-3 Protoss.
Yes.
He's got to be so careful.
He has good Viking count, of course, and there's not a lot of, oh, actually a lot of Stalkers just now join in. Big blink up, killing a couple of Vikings right there. But this is not the best engagement. Ugh, TT1 is going to kill so many units with just a couple of sprays and that extra 3-3. And look at how fast those Vikings went down.
Oh, and if the blink comes, yes, it will come. So more Vikings, more medevacs are going to fall here, and Kawhi overextending, taking some massive losses here. There is no escape for these Marines and Marauders. They are all going to fall. And
man, what a shame.
Kawhi could be in some serious trouble now.
Yeah, really, after 2-2 is done for that long, for Terran, there is no timing. There really isn't. Very, very small cases there exists the timing when you've done significant damage, but no significant damage had been done in that position. You just wait for Ghosts and actually play defensive until you can actually change out your SCVs for command centers.
And now +3 finishes. This is the time when Kawhi would have wanted to try and make something happen.
Exactly.
Such a critical misplay. There's another aggressive blink there from TT1. Zealots a little bit blocked by those Stalkers, but it might not matter too much with the Colossi doing so much damage and being so effective. Vikings will eventually clean them all up, but there's still Immortals and Stalkers on the ground. Yep. And it's enough. TT1 is going to hang on to the gauntlet, Andre.
He is. And clearing out this third base really solidifies his win. Now a couple of Zealots are actually going to get into the natural over here. KawaiiRice, that's it. GG. TT1 goes on a 4-win streak
in a row. That's good for $300.
Yeah, not bad, man.
Not bad at all. $300 down, so 4 wins out of 5 games. TT1 burning it up. North American superstar.
Yes, he is. And we actually have the next opponent. Would you care to let everybody know who it is?
Oh, this is going to be a big game. It's going to be a team kill.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be... I'm sure we'll see some things that are very standard.
Yes. And we will have,
of course, Paolo.
A winner.
Paolo going to be coming out to play against Payam. Cats versus TT1 will be our next game, guys. Be sure to stick around for that. I guarantee you it's going to be exciting. Short break, and then Cats TT1 when we return. Hi, camera 2.
I'll get there.